Good evening, brothers and sisters. This is Chris Phillips, running to be your shop chairman. Brothers and sisters, I usually don't write anything down because I like to speak from the heart. And I feel like when I read things, it doesn't come across like that. So tonight is going to be a little different for me because I am going to read some facts that was recently put out. And it's actually really good news for our plant. So last Thursday, the Allen County Council passed a resolution in favor of a tax abatement. And this tax abatement was granted to General Motors and for the Fort Wayne assembly plant. And what this is GM now will invest $450 million in our plant. And just to be honest with you, I can't take credit for this, being on the shop committee for the last several years, for being your zone. This is not credit that I will take as a leader and as a member of your shop committee, but this is something that this membership deserves because you're the one that sacrificed things. You're the one that do the work day in and day out, and you are the one that's earned these awards in the past years, whether it be a J.D. Power Award or a quality award. You know, we have represented you, and we have came with agreements that helped be considered. But when it came down to it, it's the membership that does the work, and that's something that I appreciate very much. So with that being said, GM is going to invest in our plant, and this a tax abatement says exactly what it is. It's a 10-year tax abatement where there will not be any tax paid for as property tax or anything like that from General Motors, and that's important. And that also guarantees that GM is investing, and they are going to, no matter who is your chairman. So with that being said, I believe that a congratulations is in order to this membership. And like I said before, I'm just doing my job by my past, negotiating, whether it be insourcing our product or coming up with ways that, that better this membership. You know, I've done my job representing you. Now, this is a big deal when it comes to the livelihoods of our membership, because it guarantees that GM's going to make this investment to upgrade our equipment, to put new equipment in, and to put us in position to build the next generation of trucks, and they will be assembled here in Fort Wayne, Indiana, at this plant. So that is news right there, where I know the other candidate has almost put a scare tactic out there that, if he wasn't elected, that we wouldn't get future investments, and that's just not true. These investments are considered well above us and well above his plan. It's talked about at the national level, and it's talked about with General Motors. And then how that comes down is they do position and invest in plants where, the membership has stepped up time and time again and really did what needed to be done, whether it's our skilled trade stepping up with the paint expansion and to make sure that we had a bigger bank where we wouldn't have downtime between with the buffer. Our skilled trades did that work, and we showed GM just how we could step up and do these projects. So it's things like that. It's things like with the chip shortage, how our members stepped up. Now, yes, as a committee, we did. The zones, myself and the other zones, we sat in the meetings and we came up with ideas where our members could do the work instead of outsourcing the work. And you guys stepped up and you did it by, with the creation of, Final Process East, and, our team leaders stepping up and, working overtime to make sure that, the work is getting done as far as the repairs, and it goes a long way with the augmentation list. And of course, our final process members and everyone in that pecking order with 2011-202 of our local agreement, which is, our care supervisor area, as well as the end of final line that encompass the end of line buy-off team. And all of these individuals, all of you stepped up and really took it to task to make sure that Fort Wayne Assembly stays number one, and we get back to number one, I should say. We have earned prestigious awards over the years, and that's not anything that I can take credit for as a leader, or no other leader can, because without you, the membership, we wouldn't be considered for these awards, and we wouldn't be considered for this investment. So again, congratulations. Another thing that I would like to speak on is sub-council. A lot of people would ask me what sub-council is. Well, sub-council is, and I've been to many of them as a member of the shop committee and as your zone, where after the resolution process goes into place, with the national negotiations coming up, there's a national bargaining team that's already been selected, and we've already went up as representatives of your plant. We were elected to go up and look at these resolutions to make sure that your voices were heard and they went to the bargaining table. Now, this sub-council is in New Orleans, and this sub-council is, before they go into national negotiations, they usually give us a booklet, and they have guest speakers as well as members from the bargaining team that speak on some of the demand forms that they're going to go after. And it's a lot of great information. Don't get me wrong, but there's also a lot of nightlife going on, and yes, there's 6 hours of meetings and things like that. But I felt at this time, with everything that we have going on in this plant, with the grievances that still aren't paid, that were supposed to be paid by the end of the year, that we're dealing with, that I'm dealing with on a daily basis, and with the job eliminations that we're facing and everything else that's going on in this facility, I felt it was impossible for me to go and just leave and go off to New Orleans while all this was going on. And I will commend your third shift zone, Mike Kellogg, as well as your future day shift zone, and Joe Perry for staying back as well to make sure that, they were serving this membership as well. With that being said, I'm not bashing and I'm not saying anything bad about Rich choosing to go to sub-council, and, the rest of the shop committee going. I'm not at all. I think it's important information to bring back to this membership, but it's information that it doesn't take 10 people to bring back. It just doesn't. The fights here, and the fights on the floor, and with the dissension and the division on the floor, and the way management is going after these jobs, and we're right in the middle of it, and fighting these overloaded jobs. There's just no way I would feel comfortable leaving, especially when I've been helping members from all three shifts at this point, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So with closing in on tonight's video, there is a runoff. The election is not over. I know that a lot of folks had said that, the other candidate has come out and shook hands and thanked everyone for their support. And the membership was confused, a lot of them, because they thought the election was over, and it's by far not over. We have a runoff between Rich and myself, and that's because we had 3 candidates. And me, myself, and Rich were close in votes. And then Greg Bedford ran a great campaign, and I've talked to Greg, and I congratulated him on running a clean campaign. But he received over 700 votes, and that's a lot. That's a lot of members with Greg's votes as well as mine, that's 1,705 votes, membership votes that is saying that change is needed. And with that comes a runoff. And in this runoff, you're going to have to look and you're going to have to ask yourself, who do you want to vote for? And it's either you want to vote for a candidate that represents change, whether, and there's a lot of change that needs to happen on that floor. We have a grievance procedure that's frankly broken, and it needs attention. And that attention is going to have to come from a chairman that's going to have to step up and take this company to task to make sure we don't have grievances in the system for years, for 71 violations, and other just blatant violations of the local contract or the national agreement. The time has come that, we have to hold the company accountable to make sure the grievance procedure is upheld. I've had so many members say that, well, it's not even worth writing a grievance because we have to wait so long for them. I'm sorry for that, and I want to make that better. And as a chairman, I will. Again, 1,705 members voted for change, and you have one candidate who wants change and who has promised this membership that I won't lie to you to get elected, and I won't, guarantee anything that I know that I can't make happen. And that's a promise to you. I do promise you, though, that I will represent change, and we will represent change as a leadership group. I know, speaking to the membership on the floor, visibility is a must. And that's something that, I've spoken of the culture that has to change on the shop floor, to earn your trust back and to make this membership proud that you have a leadership that's busting their ass day in and day out to make sure that you're taken care of. And I've given you the guarantee that you're going to see me as a chairman on the floor. And I'm giving you my guarantee as a chairman, I will help change the culture as well in the office. We have a lot of great committeemen and alternates that are on that floor every day. I'm very proud of my third shift representatives. I really am. I spoke about that yesterday on the floor where, you shouldn't have to force anyone to be on the floor. And I think that we have some elected people in that office that will have no problems. We have a good group that will be out there busting their butts to make sure. There just has to be some direction, from the leadership, and I will make sure of that. Also, we have problems in the appointed arena where we have a lot of people, that sometimes get comfortable and that need some direction, and to make sure that they remember they don't work for me as a chairman. I'm not a dictator, and I don't have any vendetta against any appointed person. But I will make sure that I run an administration where everyone knows who they work for, and that's this membership. I've said it time and time and again that these jobs were created to help the membership. These jobs were created to help overloaded jobs, to help health and safety issues, and to make sure that they're not set up in a way that's against ergonomics. With concerns that I have, we have jobs that are set up that already have ergonomic concerns that are already on them before they even hit the floor, and that has to stop. And the buck stops with me as your chairman, because I told you I will be involved. And I spoke with Greg recently. And he had a lot of great ideas. And I told Greg that, his campaign and mine were a lot alike when it come to the change. And we have so many members here that have so many different, whether it be, we have teachers on the floor. We have people getting their master's degree. We have people that are out on that floor that go to school after they leave here. And, those are the people that we need to get involved. And, to get this culture changed on the floor, we're going to have to have people to volunteer for these jobs and to know that they actually have a chance and that their resumes will be looked at. And I guarantee you with that, as your chairman, that will change, and we will be given these jobs to, as they come available, to individuals out there that will best benefit this membership and that will help us fight these jobs. We spoke of, having a list of, the top 5 jobs where there's issues on it. And then break that down with jobs that have 78s and jobs that have ergonomic concerns, where management is used to, us writing a grievance, and then the grievance sitting there while our membership still runs their butt off on that job with threats of getting written up and thrown out for downtime. And we just that has to stop, and it will stop with me. With my administration, we are going to be an administration of the people, of the membership, and we will get back to that. And that's going to help, change the culture on the shop floor. And I can't wait for that. And I look forward to it because I already see the excitement. I see the excitement with 1,705 people, members, voting for change. And I was recently at the executive board the other day, last Friday, and I had made a motion that all the polls remain the same. So it's easy for our membership to vote. We had a great turnout, over 3,000 members, and, there was going to be some changes to the polling areas and the times, and that just couldn't happen. It's not fair to you, the members. It's not fair that your voice wouldn't be heard if you couldn't get to the poll or you didn't have time. And so I am proud to say that did change, and that we're going to have the same polling areas and the same times, which will be June 6th and 7th from 5 a.m. to 5 a.m. So on that day, you have a choice to make. You either are going to choose a candidate that, has change in the next 3 years at the forefront of his administration. And that's me. I'm going to listen to this membership. I told you before, we're going to set up, monthly meetings, not only the monthly membership meeting, but we're going to have some town hall meetings. And, I would love to hear the issues at hand from every one of you, with me as a chairman being committed to being visible, as far as having visibility on the floor. I will speak to you and you will see me. But, if we have some bi-weekly or once a month after shift meetings, I believe it gives you an opportunity to be more involved with, so you don't have to come up and sacrifice family time if you didn't want to on, the one weekend a month where we have a membership meeting, but you could do an after shift meeting. So again, I am open to so many different ideas that we have from so many different members that have different seniorities that come from different plants. And, at each of these plants, I've heard so many times how, hey, we did it at our plant like this. And some of the current leaders usually get a little upset. Well, you're not there, you're at Fort Wayne. Well, I'm sorry, this is home to everybody. Everyone that's here in this membership, this is home now. And like I said before, this is my first choice, this is my only choice, and this is my home. And I'm going to make sure that, I support this membership so this membership can continue to put us in positions for this future product allotment and future investments. And again, you did that, and I appreciate you, each and every one of you. And that's why I'm running for your shop chairman. And on June 6th and 7th from 5 a.m. to 5 a.m., we're going to the polls again, brothers and sisters, and it's going to be a historical vote. And I hope that everyone goes to the polls and we voice, your voice is heard. And, with 1,705 members voting for change, I believe that we can do even better than that, because there's a lot of members out there that always worry about voting, one way because they feel threatened, and I'm telling you one thing, no one knows how you vote except for you. And I had many brothers and sisters come to me and say something about, hey, I supported you, I just didn't, want so-and-so to know because, this and that. And it shouldn't be like that. And I'm going to make sure that you will have a leader that will change that culture as well. So again, I appreciate your time tonight. Congratulations on this future investment that's being announced, and this abatement that has been announced, because I tell you, that's from your hard work and that's from your dedication and sacrifice. And I certainly appreciate that. So again, have a good night, and I will be speaking to you again from a couple more videos, because it's an exciting time and we're going to be at the gates and we're going to be seeing you. And I just appreciate, all the love and, the support that I've gotten from you. And I will continue to bust my ass to make sure that if you haven't met me, you will, and that I always will be there for you. And one thing I guarantee is I will not let you down. And again, thank you and good night.